Starting us off at number 10 is Bella Thorne. There is a big debate going around if Bella is in the wrong for this, so I will let you guys be the judge. The OnlyFans community is not happy with Bella after she joined the app and allegedly cheated the system. This caused OnlyFans to change their payment restrictions so that users can only get paid a certain amount of money per post, including their tips. The sex workers community publicly lashed out on Bella and said that she ruined their financial potential, and for a lot of these users, OnlyFans is their full-time income. They take it very seriously, obviously, and they don't think it's fair that Bella uses it when she doesn't really need the money. Obviously. Bella ended up apologizing and said she didn't know the rules and promised to make it up to some of these sex workers by promoting their OnlyFans pages and working alongside them. But former YouTuber Alicia Faith came forward with screenshots showing that she was one of these creators who was supposed to be promoted. She showed various screenshots of a group chat that Bella and her mom, who's also her manager, had created, saying they were gonna help them, but they never did. Both Bella and her mom ghosted the girls' messages in the chat. So that is basically the long story short of all this OnlyFans drama, but let me know what you guys think. I don't know if celebrities should be allowed to have OnlyFans. Up next, number 9 is Pokimane. She is one of the most popular Twitch streamers in the world, but could lose everything for breaking some of their policies. Throughout the years, she's been given warnings about breaking policies and has escaped being banned from the platform on a few different occasions, which obviously means that she's doing things that is against their guidelines. She's probably getting away with it more so than other people would because of her status. But recently, she's at risk once again for being banned after using the word simp in one of her live streams. She said the word multiple times and it grabbed Twitch's attention because they banned that use of the word along with some other words in an attempt to stop online harassment and bullying. Now, some people think it's a little ridiculous to ban words and then ban users for saying them, while others appreciate what they are trying to do. The reason she's believed to be so toxic though is not because she said the word simp. It's because she's broken policies many times, like the one time that she showed an explicit photo in one of her live streams, and she got suspended for a few days for that. Do you think she should have been banned for using the word simp? Is she toxic, or is Twitch just too strict? Let me know. Cruising into number 8 is Kim Kardashian. Some people would argue that the whole Kardashian family, like in general, should be on this list. But Kim takes a lot of heat, especially being married to Kanye West, because we all know Kanye West and his erratic behavior. She recently received a ton of backlash after posting a video of her wearing a corset from her Met Gala outfit. In the video, her waist looks incredibly small, and people immediately started accusing her for setting dangerous body standards that could be dangerous to women and young girls that follow her. Even actress Jamila Jamil called her out publicly and accused her of being obsessed with her body shape and overall image. Maybe Kim doesn't realize how those types of posts could affect people, but it could be very toxic, especially for young girls who are influenced more by the media. In our number 7 spot is Chris Brown. He let the world know he was in a toxic relationship in 2009 when he faced assault charges from his girlfriend at the time, Rihanna. He pleaded guilty to the charges and openly admitted that they were both physical with each other and said that he punched her in the face and busted her lip. Since then, he's always had an angry reputation, like getting kicked out of clubs, having feuds with other celebrities, and smashing windows in the back of a studio after walking off set because he didn't like the interviewer's question. Other celebrities have come forward saying that they just try to avoid him, probably for the best. Moving on to number 6, we have Lindsay Lohan. She was once one of the biggest celebrities in Hollywood, but struggled with an addiction that led to her arrest. She eventually got sober and moved to Dubai because she wanted to avoid paparazzi, and it is illegal over there. Fun fact. I don't think people had an issue with her addiction because we understand that some people struggle with it. It was her aggressive and erratic behavior that people just don't want to be involved with. She doesn't have a very good track record with other celebrities in more recent times, and because of her charges and reputation, a relationship with her could be toxic to their reputation. It looks like she is trying to make a comeback right now though, guys, so let's cross our fingers and send positive vibes her way, because I loved her and I would just, I would love a turnaround. I really would. I miss her and Amanda Bynes. I miss both of them very much. Halfway through at number 5 is Charlie Sheen. If you followed any of his behavior in recent years, then you would already understand why he is on our list. At one point in time, he was the highest paid TV actor in Hollywood, earning $1.8 million an episode, crazy, for his role on 2.5 Men. But then in 2018, he was admitting to Vanity Fair that he had been blacklisted. He said, "I've been unable to find steady work and have been blacklisted from many aspects of the entertainment industry. It was his addiction to drugs and alcohol that led him there after he had multiple trips to rehab, domestic violence charges against him by multiple women, lashing out at producers, and demanding a 50% raise on top of his $1.8 million an episode." Directors have said he is too much of a liability because his past behavior was so impulsive, but he has sobered up and there is a chance that he could turn his reputation around. Rolling into the number 4 spot is Azalea Banks. She's got a reputation for being a feisty little firecracker, and her temper has landed her in some trouble on more than one occasion. She has started storms on Twitter with her abrasive and offensive tweets, and she has been both physically and verbally aggressive in public. Allegedly, she's known as the party plague because she has been kicked out of numerous bars, parties, and even airplanes. She was investigated after she punched a security guard who was trying to remove her from a Los Angeles bar one time. Video footage of the incident led the LAPD to open a case against her. I mean, we all have that one drunk, aggressive friend at the bar, and like once they just start going off and getting aggressive, like we just pretend we don't know them. You know what I mean? I do that. I have friends, they just try to look for fights and stuff, and I'm just like, you're on your own, I ain't trying to get involved in that. And I just pretend I don't know them. Taking over our 3rd spot is Shia LaBeouf. It is hard to narrow down which part of his behavior is the most toxic, but throughout the years we have learned that his struggle with substance abuse has played a big part in it. There have been multiple moments throughout his career when fans thought it would be the end to everything that he had. His angry outbursts and trouble with the law have cost him tons of jobs and personal relationships. But at the end of 2020, allegations surfaced which could prove he's a lot more toxic than anyone ever even realized. Recently, his ex-girlfriend FKA Twigs sued him and accused him of sexual battery, assault, and infliction of emotional distress. The lawsuit was filled with disturbing details of the abuse she faced while dating him for a few years, even claiming that he had killed innocent stray dogs and then called it method acting. She expressed that he is very dangerous for women and that she feared for her life on multiple occasions while she was with him. Shia has responded to the claims and admitted that he was abusive towards himself and others in his past and blamed it on his substance abuse. But he still denies some of the claims and said that not everything in her lawsuit is true. We are not sure what the lawsuit will lead to, but his lawyer has revealed that he is seeking long-term inpatient treatment. Coming in at number 2 is Jake Paul. The YouTuber was recently feuding online with fighter Dylan Dennis, but then he took things a little bit too far by publicly attacking him. No, he did not fight him. He actually drove by him on the street when he was doing an interview and then pelted water balloons and toilet paper at him from a pickup truck. It literally sounds like an elementary slumber party. The videos from the prank, or whatever you want to call it, went viral instantly. Fans started attacking Jake, saying that what he did was childish and immature, but then rumors began to spread, claiming that the whole thing was staged. Both of them kept tweeting after the incident happened, which obviously fueled the fire between them, but fans investigated the video clips and are convinced that it was just one big publicity stunt, which just pissed them off even more. Honestly, whether it was staged or not, both options are just equally as ridiculous and immature, in my opinion. In the number 1 spot is Lil Wayne. The legendary rapper is facing some serious charges right now and could lose everything after his upcoming trial. There seems to be a pattern of behavior when it comes to having firearms in his possession. He was recently charged with possessing a firearm as a formerly convicted felon. That is right, this is not his first time facing charges for having an illegal firearm in his possession. He actually has a prior felony gun possession record from New York and was only charged for the new firearm despite being caught with marijuana, cocaine, and other drugs when the incident happened. The incident actually happened at Miami Airport over a year ago, but the charges did not catch up to him until now. He ended up pleading guilty in hopes that his sentence will be lighter. He is currently facing up to 10 years in prison, but after pleading guilty, he may get much less than that. His sentencing hearing is January 28th, so we will just have to wait and see what happens. But it is coming close. Starting off our countdown at number 10 is Chris D'Elia. He was accused with some serious allegations, and why people find him so toxic is because he's gotten away with them. Earlier this year, he was caught messaging an underage girl trying to make plans with her to fly to New York to visit him. He claims he didn't know that she was underage, but she said her Instagram profile shows her age. He walked away from the situation hands clean, and it seemed like people just completely forgot about it. Fast forward to September, he was once again under a microscope after 2 more women came forward and accused him of exposing himself to them. Both women claim he exposed himself without their consent and performed sexual acts on himself. Chris's lawyer made a statement saying that Chris denies these allegations and states that he has never engaged in any sexual conduct with any woman without her consent. Again, these new allegations came in September and people have already stopped talking about it, which is clearly very toxic. And I don't understand. I don't get it. Up next, number 9 is Offset. He's been making a lot of negative headlines recently after it was announced that Cardi B had filed for divorce since he was caught cheating on her again. So some would say that a person who continues to cheat on his wife is a toxic person, but if that's not enough reason, his most recent news headline might be. The rapper was questioned by police while on Instagram Live last week while he was driving through a Trump rally. The cops said they received reports that he was waving a gun outside of the car window. He refused to get out of his car after they asked, so eventually the cops removed him, and at that point the live stream was stopped. Later on, the Beverly Hills Police Department tweeted a statement that clarified Cardi B's cousin, Marcelo Almanzar, who was in the passenger seat of Offset's car, was the one arrested for carrying a concealed weapon and carrying a loaded firearm in public. So it wasn't actually Offset with the gun, but he was still there and letting it happen. You know? Still not a good situation. Rolling to spot number 8 is Britney Spears. The only reason she would ever be considered toxic right now is simply because the situation she is in is very confusing. It's hard to understand what exactly she is going through because the media has led fans to believe a few different outcomes. A movement was started online called Free Britney after people were worried that she was being held under strict restrictions from her father, who has full control over her life and finances. She started posting these strange videos and photos on her social media, and people said that she was using codes in her videos to ask for help. But then her sister made a statement online saying that mental illness is not a joke and that she is not being held captive or harmed. All we know is the legal battle Britney is facing against her father as her lawyer tries to get her back her rights to her own life and finances. Her dad was granted conservatorship in 2008 when Britney had her breakdown, but now they want to get everything back in her control. And spot number 7, we got Sean Kingston. I mean, what's more toxic than not paying your bills and having warrants out for your arrest? It has been many years since he was taking over the pop music scene in Hollywood, so it might be a surprise that you see his name on this list. Somehow, he has always kept a name for himself though, even though he hasn't really put out music in years, probably a decade. Despite the fact he's been living a more quiet life, he has still made headlines throughout the years, but all for reasons that you would not want to. Police told TMZ there is a warrant out for his arrest right now, and he is facing grand theft charges due to unpaid jewelry bills. Apparently, he has had issues with paying off his jewelry in the past and has actually been sued a few times because of it. Police say they do not plan to actively search for him, but the warrant has been officially filed. His bail was set to $45,000 and he could be sentenced up to 3 years in prison if he is convicted. He has not commented on this, but honestly he seems very unbothered by it. Even though the warrant is public news now, he still continues to show off his fancy jewelry on his Instagram. You know, like the jewelry that he did not pay for. Moving on to number 6, we have Logan Paul. One of the reasons he left the YouTube scene was because of his bad decision that he made back in 2017, but it is finally catching up to him now. He has apologized many times for one mistake in particular, but it still wasn't enough to escape a lawsuit. If you missed what happened in 2017, he vlogged his visit with his friends to the Japanese suicide forest where they unexpectedly came across a real dead body. In the video, they could be seen laughing, and the body was actually shown in the final cut that he had posted to YouTube. People thought it was unacceptable and very insensitive to the person who had committed suicide and and also their loved ones. Logan ended up losing a multi-million-dollar licensing agreement with Google, and he slowly just shied away from YouTube. But a few years later, in December 2020, a company called Plainless Pictures sued him and demanded he pay $3.5 million. In 2016, they produced a film with Logan called Airplane Mode and had the agreement with Google that YouTube would promote and distribute the film. But since Logan lost his agreement after his video, the film company is going after the $3.5 million that Google was actually supposed to pay. We will have to wait and see what happens, but Logan has openly admitted to his mistake and he has apologized for it. But will he have to pay for it? That is the question. Halfway through our list, on number 5 is Gabby DiMartino. Whether she meant her actions to be toxic or not, we won't truly know, but she says that it was all done in innocent fun. The 25-year-old YouTuber was suspended on OnlyFans last month after she shocked her viewers with disturbing content that involved a video of a child. The child was actually her when she was a young girl. She was charging her fans $3 to view a video of her flashing the camera when she was just like a child. It was weird. She was kind of like dancing around, singing, and she lifted up her dress. I don't know why you would post it. People were confused with the content, and it prompted serious concerns that could have led her to get arrested. People immediately started questioning if they were set up to view, possess, or distribute what they would refer to as CP. Now, this is an acronym that we use here on YouTube because I cannot say the actual words. In the United States, this is a Class D felony, so she could be in big trouble. Even if it's not right now, this could come back to haunt her. She was immediately suspended from the app, but at the time of this recording, she has not been charged with any crime yet. She did apologize after the incident and said the video was meant to be funny. She said, "It was a home video I love to share with my friends, and I use my OnlyFans as a Finsta page where I share stuff as I would with friends." I don't even know why you would share that with friends, but okay. Next up at number 4 is Trisha Paytas. The 32-year-old has had a long, successful career so far, but one that is filled with tons of drama and controversy. She has almost lost her career on multiple occasions, but somehow is able to keep going. But this year she has caused quite the stir on TikTok after starting drama with teens who are half her age. Through a variety of videos, she began calling out TikTok stars like Charli D'Amelio, Dixie D'Amelio, Emma Nortz, and Brooklyn XO, all of which are teenagers. She pulls up some of their content and then reacts to it in her TikTok videos and comments on their behavior. She is constantly accusing them of not being good influences to the younger audience, and fans are tired of her going after teens. She started getting accused of bullying and began getting attacked for attacking younger girls online. It's really just a bunch of unnecessary drama. In my opinion, she has every right not to find their content appropriate, like to each their own, but to make videos on it and publicly call them out, that is just creating drama. Let these teens just figure it out on their own. Let them grow up. They have parents, you're not their mom. Just is the generation we're living in right now. In the 3rd spot is Justin Bieber. The singer has done some damage to his reputation over the years, but at one point in time he had a clean record. Part of his career seemed to get out of control and he was facing drunken misdemeanors like peeing in a public restaurant, skipping out on tabs, being removed from Coachella by a chokehold, and caught drinking underage. Fans also started to turn against him because they didn't like his attitude or behavior. He no longer took photo with fans. In fact, he actually yelled at fans who would try to take a picture or a video of him, and in one incident he allegedly spit on his fans. In more recent times though, after marrying Hailey Baldwin and moving to Canada, he seems to be under the radar and is kind of staying out of news headlines like as best as he can, unless they're good ones of course. Moving on to number 2, we have Bill Cosby. Luckily, this toxic celebrity can no longer be spreading his toxins across Hollywood because his behavior had him locked behind bars. If you followed his highly publicized trial, then you would understand why he is considered one of the most toxic celebrities in Hollywood. His career came crashing down in 2014 when allegations surfaced that he had more than 50 people throughout the years 1965 to 2008. After one woman came forward, it was a domino effect and other women came forward with their stories. Bill always claimed his innocence and battled the different allegations for years. But in 2018, he was found guilty for 3 counts of aggravated assault, and then he was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in state prison. Now, that doesn't seem like a long time if you ask me, like not enough time for his crimes, but since he's 83 years old right now, some people believe it's basically the rest of his life in there. Coming into our number 1 place is Chris Brown. People were wondering why Chris Brown wasn't included in the big "who is the worst Chris" debate. Because out of all the other Chris celebrities in the category, he is definitely the worst one, or he should at least be considered. It seems like the world forgot the night in 2009 when he left his then girlfriend Rihanna bruised and bleeding. Now, he later admitted that their relationship was toxic and that the physical abuse was on both ends, but most people will agree that there is never an excuse to hit a woman. Chris did an interview after the altercation and fully admitted to punching her in the face that night, admitting that he felt like a monster after it happened. He was arrested after the photos and news stories broke the internet, and Rihanna actually testified against him in court. Some people were more forgiving towards him and saw it as a toxic relationship, while others saw his behavior as personal anger issues and very toxic violent habits. Starting us off at the number 10 spot is Jeffree Star. If you follow the YouTube community, then you know about the beauty guru even if you aren't interested in makeup. Even if you are a fan of him, he's always in the middle of every scandal, and recently he's been putting out fires everywhere in his career for a lot of harsh claims. He's being called a racist for past comments he's made. He was accused of knowing about the Davy Vanity sexual assault cases, and most recently accused of bullying James Charles and setting up that huge 2019 scandal to a point where James had suicidal thoughts. There is a lot to the drama because he's been a huge influencer on YouTube for years, but he's always the front man in every scandal, so we all can agree that that is a toxic place to be. Up next, number 9 is Perez Hilton. With his job, it's kind of impossible to not come off as a toxic person in Hollywood. He's a famous media personality who got known off his celebrity blogging pieces. His website covers all the latest drama and gossip about celebrities, and because he's the one dishing out the information, he often takes a lot of heat for it. I mean, we kind of do the same thing on our channels, like we cover the latest celebrity news, stories, and updates, and sometimes people come at us as if we're making up the gossip, but really we're the ones just delivering the news, like it's our job. But Perez kind of inserts himself in situations, like he tweets at celebrities causing these feuds, and he often just shares his opinion even when he's not asked to. So for more reasons than one, he could be viewed as very toxic. Sniping our number 8 spot is Billie Eilish. Now, I personally do not think she deserves to be on this list. I think people are calling her toxic for a pretty ridiculous reason. All Billie did was participate in a new trend on Instagram called Post a Picture Of, where fans can ask her to share a photo of a specific thing. One of the responses on the trend asked her to show a picture of her phone's lock screen, so she screenshotted it and posted it to her story. Fans were thrilled that she did it, but when they saw what it was, some people had a problem with it. Her lock screen showed a waterproof painting of 2 naked women. Fans were a little confused by it, but then she was asked to post a picture of her favorite drawing, and she posted a number of sketches she had drawn of various female anatomy parts, I'll say, including breasts. She made a joke about it and captioned it with, "These probably LOL, I love boobs." Immediately after posting the photos, her followers started to drop rapidly, and she lost over 100,000 followers in 30 minutes. She's only 18 years old, and I can understand why her audience may be younger, but do you think that she deserved to lose that many followers because of this? Like, to me, this was not toxic behavior. However, some people think it was. Cruising into spot number 7 is Mama June. It's honestly hard to consider her a celebrity, but she did reach heights of fame that no one really expected for her time on TLC's show Here Comes Honey Boo Boo. She was the mom in the reality show, and her personality won over the hearts of many people. But all of her fame and success came crashing down after news broke in 2014, saying that she was dating a 53-year-old sex offender who allegedly assaulted her own daughter, who actually came forward with these claims. TLC immediately canceled the show and people turned against Mama June, who continued dating him despite the claims from her own daughter. But she eventually moved on to another man, and that is when things got even worse. She was arrested with her new man in March 2019 at an Alabama gas station after police were called for a domestic disturbance. She ended up getting charged with felony possession of a controlled substance and drug paraphernalia and domestic violence/harassment. There's a lot of toxic things in that paragraph that I just read. Making her way into number 6 is Shannon Doherty. In the 90s, you would have seen her everywhere. She was taking on lead roles in Beverly Hills 90210 and Charmed. Stories surfaced saying that she was fired from Charmed after an ongoing feud that she had with her co-star Alyssa Milano. But that was never confirmed. All we know is that she left the show because of the feud, which was heavily documented for years. Fast forward to 2019, she reprised her role for the 90210 reboot, but got fired after getting into a physical altercation with her co-star Jenny Garth. So I see a pattern happening here. It's clear that she does not get along with people, or that there just has to be some kind of miscommunication and coincidence. But once things got physical, she was fired from the show immediately because she was the one who started it, apparently. Only 1 month after the incident, she was involved in another court case where she was accused of owing the bank around $36,000. So there's a few reasons why people might be skeptical about hiring her or even being friends with her. This girl throws down if she don't like you. Halfway through the list, at number 5 is Ellen DeGeneres. 2020 has not been Ellen's year, and that is because she was attacked online all summer for allegedly not being as nice as she is on TV and having a toxic work environment. These claims started to surface after former employees and bodyguards came forward stating that the workplace was very toxic. But they only came forward after one of Ellen's guests, Nikki Tutorials, shared her experience on the show and said it wasn't what she thought it would be. She revealed that Ellen didn't even say hi to her before the show and that the overall experience wasn't as positive as she expected. The claims got so serious that her show was under investigation and 2 producers were fired from her show after they were accused of sexual harassment and misconduct. But Ellen's show somehow made it through and she's filming a new season right now despite everything. In her opening season 18 monologue, she issued a public apology and said that they were working on making their work environment a better place. Rolling into number 4 is Chris Pratt. The Guardians of the Galaxy star has been facing tons of backlash after one tweet started trending where people had to choose which Chris was the worst one. Amy Berg tweeted, "One has to go," and attached pictures of Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt, Chris Evans, and Chris Pine. The innocent joke turned serious real quick after Ellen Page called him out for supporting a religious organization that reportedly discriminates against the LGBTQ community. The organization is called Hillsong Church, and in 2015, the senior pastor wrote in a post that the church welcomes all people but does not affirm all lifestyles, including the gay lifestyle. Their words, not mine. And to top it all off, people exposed the fact that he might be a Trump supporter. He did not attend the recent virtual fundraiser for Joe Biden, which was attended by all his other Avenger co-stars. Though he hasn't openly said that he discriminates against the LGBTQ community or that he supports Trump, people are claiming he is more toxic than people realized and that he is just quiet about it. And the third spot is Shia LaBeouf. There was a time when he was one of the biggest actors in Hollywood and didn't get involved in drama or controversy. But then that all changed and he was the center of it. Things seemed to take a dark turn for the actor in 2017 when video footage showed him wildly drunk and yelling racial slurs towards police officers who were arresting him. It was a hard scandal for him to defend because it wasn't just a story that he could deny. The whole thing was caught on camera and we got to see exactly what happened. After the incident, he was sentenced to 10 weeks of court-ordered rehab where he says that he learned that his violence and defensiveness was a result of post-traumatic stress disorder coming from an incident in his childhood. After that, he did have more controversial moments in his career, but he seems to be in a better place more recently. He was blacklisted for a while in Hollywood though, with one director saying that he is too much of a liability to hire him. AKA, he is too toxic. Taking over number 2 is Farrah Abraham. She became famous from MTV's hit series Teen Mom, but as her career took off, fans started to question her parenting and didn't really agree with her behavior. or choices. At one point in her career, she decided to star on Teen Mom and become an adult film star and entertainer. So of course, MTV could not allow her to stay on the show Teen Mom with children. So she ended up starting her own line of sex toys after that and underwent a ton of plastic surgery. The only press she gets these days is bad press because of her social media live streams. She gets butt injections, literally on her live stream, you know, like for promotion, shows her butt and everything, and her 11-year-old daughter Sophia is in the room with her, like talking about the butt injections. Her parenting choices are hers to make, obviously, but you can understand why people would see this as toxic. Earning the #1 place is Shane Dawson. He first joined YouTube back in 2008 with a channel called Shane Dawson TV. His personality and funny skits at the time won people over, and he skyrocketed into fame, which led him to creating his own series called Conspiracy Theories with Shane Dawson. However, in this past year or so, he has been facing a harsh reality after people revealed old footage of him doing blackface, making racist comments, saying inappropriate comments about minors, and saying he assaulted his cat. Now honestly, these are just a few of the controversies he is facing right now. What pushed everyone over the edge though was a recent video where he was performing inappropriate gestures towards a poster of Willow Smith when she was underage. Things are so bad for him right now that YouTube just canceled all ads across all 3 of his channels, which means that he is making $0 on any of his videos.